Hey, this is Al McGee with YETicket.com. Well, the film I'm going to talk about right now is called Respect. Well, this is a story about Aretha Franklin, and it's not about her whole life. It gets give you a brief account of her life, but it stars the wonderful Jennifer Hudson. Now, Jennifer Hudson did a great acting job with this, and she really sang the songs, but man, she didn't really sound like Aretha, but she did have soul and things like that. And she really brought it to this acting experience for her as Aretha Franklin. And I totally believe that she was Aretha Franklin. Now, Jennifer Hudson, she started this film when she turned 17 years old. And then when the project started, well, she was 37 and she had to play Aretha from the age of 17 on up. And they did a pretty good job with that, showing a young lady until the older woman here in this film. Now, they also showed Aretha when she was a child, played by Sky Dakota Turner, and when she was a very, very young girl. In fact, in the first scene that came, you see her father wakes her up from a sleep when her father has a party, and her father's a Reverend C.L. Franklin, and he is played by the great Forrest Whitaker. And so, you know, she got up and sang in the middle of the night. But then they showed another scene in that they didn't really give a lot of questions, didn't go far enough as I was concerned. Yes, I was concerned about that scene, but also, again, the Reverend C.L. Franklin, which is played by Forrest Whitaker, they didn't tell his life story as much as I wanted to know about, or that I already know about him. I'm a big fan of both of them. I used to listen to the Reverend C.L. Franklin on the radio back in the days in the 60s. He came all over towns, different cities and things like that. He was a very powerful man back in the day, and he was a great friend of the great Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and shows some of that in the film. And the actor they had to play Dr. King, well, he sounded like Dr. King very, very thoroughly. And I really enjoyed that. And, he really did a good job with that, playing Dr. King. Now, there's another actor in here too, Titus Burgess. He played the Reverend James Cleveland. They didn't give him enough. And they didn't let us really know who James Cleveland was in this film. They really didn't. But they really let us know about Ted White, which is played by the great Marlon Wayans. Marlon Wayans, he really plays dramatic roles very thoroughly. He's a very good dramatic artist. But unfortunately, he has to make his money doing comedy because there's not a lot of dramatic roles for him to play. But when he does it well. Just see some of his dramatic roles after you see my review. The director is Lacey Tomei, and she's a Broadway director. She's a person from Broadway. In fact, she's been nominated for a Tony. And I'm sure her and Audra are probably very, very good friends. And here also you got Mary J. Blige. She's in this film too. She plays the great Dinah Washington. But again, this film did not give me enough of Aretha to really understand Aretha. Of course, you're going to see the scene when she went to Muscle Shoals, Alabama. Of course, you're going to show how she helped arrange the song Respect. And also mention Otis Reddy, because he wrote it and he first sang that song. And they really talked about him in the movie. And I'm glad of that. And they also, talked about and showed how really she created a few other songs here as that artist. But they did not really show who she really was, because they go into part of her addiction, and also they go into, well, her family life, how really her family depended on her and how she depended on the family. Also, there was another scene in the movie where Mark Maron, he plays Jerry Wexler. And in this film, you hear Jerry Wexler say, "Hey, you're the queen of soul." It was not Jerry Wexler who labeled her the queen of soul. It was Perfect Span, DJ out of Chicago, top DJ from a black station, and he was the first one to put the crown on her head as the queen of soul. They didn't show any of that, and that's probably the problem I had with this film. A lot of things that I knew, and which are true, they didn't show in this film. But they really concentrated on Jennifer Hudson and her acting and her singing. That was enough for this film, just for this film. She did a wonderful job in this film. And I feel she did a great job in this film, playing Aretha Franklin and singing the songs. She did not dub the songs, she sang them herself. But again, she had the soul of Aretha, but she didn't sound like Aretha. And I feel that, they could have did much more in this film, but for the audience, period, it is enjoyable. It is fun to watch, and you get to learn something about Aretha Franklin, but you don't get to know the whole Aretha Franklin. For example, the problems she had with her weight and things like that, and other problems too that they didn't show in this film. But as far as entertainment, yes, it's entertaining. You definitely will get entertained in this film. Yes, go to the movie theater, or right now this is only at movie theaters. Go see it. United Artists did a great job with this film, and I feel it's very good. But out of 4 palm trees, I'm only giving it 3 because of some of the things I talked about, or 3 stars out of 4. But it's entertaining. It's fun to see Jennifer Hudson and listening to her and watching her act, man. And also Marlon Wayans in his dramatic role. Also, respect. Go see it. Hey, how you spell respect? Let me hear you say it. Thanks for watching me. I'm Al McGee at yeticket.com. And I'm glad you watched my review.
This is your entertainment ticket. Latest and greatest movie review.